Hello everyone, this is Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. As you can see, we comfortably made it back to tier 28. So up we go, back into Vault to suffer. But, what can we do? Of course, it's the usual not in Vault experience, so we either get absolutely demolished or we demolish. Pretty straightforward, nothing. I'm pretty sure this is the same defense with just, I think at some point in the season we just shifted around some unit placements. I can't quite remember though, but pretty straightforward for our opponent here. Not much we can really do against units like Brave Zealots. We don't have anything like Canto control or whatnot, and of course he's got his Miracle Muse, so we can just get away with initiating into a lot of units. There, he gets the classic stuck in a corner strat. Very standard. But at this point, Grandma's just gonna be chilling out. And there we go. Overall this week, pretty straightforward on offense. Nino definitely did some funny things this week. Also, not so funny things for us this week. I'm a little confused on what happened in our last match of the season. Because I was under the impression that Peony's Gentle Dream Plus combined with Flower of Joy would help us out a bit. So of course the neutralizes penalties on unit during combat. So I had Nino bait out a Yoon with attack res unity and a dual prom with Death Blow 4, Death Blow 3 seal, and low attack defense. Because I was like, assuming that it actually neutralizes the penalty, Yoon shouldn't get any dealt damage from her weapon. And so that means we should just be able to get away with hitting end turn, right? No. Not entirely sure how that works. Maybe I read Yoon's weapon description wrong or something, but I'm pretty sure that she only gets dealt damage on penalties active on the unit during combat, so I'm not sure what... it very well could be a bug, but I kind of doubt it. I just don't really know what I should have expected. But funny enough, even though Yoon got her dealt damage, Nino was kind of close to face tanking Duocrom at that point. She took a good amount of damage, healed a bit back with Moon time, but it wasn't quite enough. Even if we had close reversal and Joy Crowd defense active, we still wouldn't have survived, so it wasn't that close. But honestly, given that it's full attack defense, basically max attack dual prom, I don't think it was plus 10 though, so there's a bunch of variables like that where it's just like, it actually wasn't close, but sure. Overall though, just all of the remixes so far really helping out the Nino squad actually have a chance at winning matches. We've been able to do some pretty insane things with, of course, ever since Air's remix came out, that was huge for us because now Air can actually pick up kills, which is not something we could reliably say way back when. And then of course we got Peony's remix, super huge for neutralizing penalties. I don't know why it took me so long to figure out that, oh, that means we don't have to really worry about Bright Shrine or Chill Speed or whatnot, except in some niche instances where we're not worried about that. Like for example, the start of our next turn, we're still debuffed, so there's stuff like that that we still have to worry about. But At least when we're hitting end turn on units, we don't have to necessarily worry as much about that. But I mean, that's about it. Then we have Milla's remix, which is just straight up, as long as of course there's no Emblem shenanigans going on. There's a +4 to all stats instead of +2, so that's a pretty huge buff as well. And then also getting that effect for neutralizing the foe's bonuses to, what is it, attack? Which is super helpful for Nino, of course. Any bit of extra bulk she can get is absolutely insane. I wonder what her matchup card is like against some Brave Celos now, because he doesn't get that +6 attack, which is pretty sick. It's a lot of damage saved. Dare I say she might be close to actually face tanking some reliably. not quite there yet. We still need to get a gatekeeper out of time. Next replay we can't actually play, presumably because it was just like a surrender before the match even started. Not entirely sure why, but we will never know those things. I gotta say though, one of the weirdest things about using Nino for so long on offense is that everything's the same. It's just that in terms of how we approach teams and whatnot, but it always feels super different every time. I don't know what it is. There's something about doing things like casually flopping Nino in front of a unit in a duo prom, low attack defense, it never gets old. Of course, it didn't work out for us this particular time, but what are you gonna do about it? That's how it goes sometimes. I do have to figure out if... I'm pretty sure it just was actual penalties still being active. My guess would be... with the amount of damage June did, I think she got plus 20 something dealt damage, so it very well could have been just all the penalties active on Nino. I'm not sure though. Unfortunately, I still don't have Yoon after all these years, so I can't test it myself. I'm not entirely sure where the damage was coming from, but... or maybe I just really miscalculated Nino's res against Yoon. I highly doubt that though, because there weren't any emblems and I was just stacking all of my support like usual, so maybe I missed something, but that would be a lot of damage to be off by if I were missing something. And of course that particular Yoon having attack res immunity didn't help us out because, well, Milla was debuffing. Debuffing, aka buffing her attack with sabotage attack, so that was awkward. But of course, the more important thing was that the sabotage attack was going on to duo prom, which is why we had any remote chance of tanking in the first place. Pretty funny though. I just don't understand why that thing. It still haunts me to this day. Even though the match literally happened today, we don't worry about that. I gotta say, it's something else. Also, Milla's remix, I was up against... so after I basically ended up sacking Nino because an unexpected outcome occurred, I was like, what should I do to get rid of... so they had a Brave Demetrius, I believe Vital Astra, and of course there's still the duo Crum with Deadeye ready to go. So I was like, who can tank this? And I was calcing out Ashe. Absolutely garbage, not even close to face tanking. Also didn't help that Aiden wasn't in range, but Milla on the other hand, easily just straight up walling post remix, because she also got that effect on Milla's turn wheel, I believe. Milla's turn wheel 2 that gives her the both not make a follow-up attack status, and Milla can actually be fast now, which is ridiculously funny to think about. But He can actually get pretty fast on our team, of course with max support. I think she comes close to around 60 speed or something, which of course in this day and age is hot garbage for speed, but for someone like, for a unit like Milla, yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, just easily walling duo prompts Deadeye and whatnot, because of course, Deadeye is only as good as your base damages, and if you're up against a super high defense unit like Milla, and of course, because of Peony's remix neutralizing penalties, Milla didn't have, I think it was the -7 defense on her from their Dark Shrine, so just an overall win in general. Unfortunately for us here, of course, our team is absolutely no match for Brave Dimitri. Any reasonable Brave Dimitri should just win by hitting any turn a bunch of times. Because we don't have anyone on our team who has anywhere near enough defense to at least mitigate the damage, the percent-based damage reduction, let alone the fixed damage reduction. So, what can you do? Very comfy win for our opponent here. The only chance we have on these kind of teams for beating Brave Dimitri is AoE. That's literally it. And the thing about the AoE is that you either have to be doing a massive amount of base damage, or you need to match his defense so that he doesn't get his damage reduction off on AoEs. He does get damage reduction. Great. Yeah. That's what I thought. Okay. I'm not tripping. And of course here our opponent also has Asker and Flame support and Milla support. Except not for that instance, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, not great. But I mean, we're always going to have matchups that we just can't win. That's just how it works. Speaking of matchups that we can't win, holy cow, is Arena is something else right now. This week we ended up using Building Roy, and I figured, yeah, we're gonna need plus attack on him. Way back when I was like, maybe we should run plus defense because he's super good. Now we're going plus attack. In this day and age, he needs every point of attack he can get. We're straight up running Triangle Adept in his ace slot, and he's still losing the green units because, thanks Roy, at least he wasn't taking a ton of damage from them, because of course his bulk is not terrible. It's just that, well, he's not doing any damage. And so even if the opponent really isn't doing that much damage, you're still doing damage, and he isn't, so that's not how those matchups are gonna go. Oh, we did a very funny tech this week. Honestly, it's just a super good tech for the legendary male Robins. The thing about legendary male Robin is while all of his skills are active, he's super annoying for the average budget unit especially to deal with. Chances are you'll struggle to even do 1 damage to him, because for one, his base kit's debuffs your attack by, what was it? I want to say like 17, 18 points. I can't remember if you include the visible debuff, of course, from the at start of turn debuff proccing. But man, you know what the tech is? Poison Strike Roy. Because of course the thing is, all of his skills proc off of his HP, based off of his HP. As long as he has more than, as long as he has at least a quarter of his HP, he's fine to proc all of his stuff. The problem for him is when he's below 25% HP, then literally nothing is active, and so he becomes a sitting duck. It's kind of similar to, I guess, Brave Dimitri, since we were talking about him. When he's not within 3 spaces of an ally, he's pretty darn garbo. There's better units that I could use as an example. Who's a good example? Or I guess like Ascended Tiki, the moment you have absolutely no allies by her, she's doomed. Oh, Duo Asker is the perfect example here. Super meta right now, of course, especially in high-scoring Colosseum modes. But the moment he's not within 3 spaces of an ally, just hot garbage. No damage, it just basically becomes an actual plain stat stick. And he doesn't have that many stats. Of course, compared to early in the game, he has a crud ton of stats, but in this day and age, it's just, you know, your average Joe amount of stats for an infantry mage. So, yeah, so to tech against Legendary Male Robin running Poison Strike. So even if we do 0 damage, which most of the time Roy was able to scrounge up like maybe 10-15 damage on the initial hit against Legendary Male Robin, but after that Poison Strike damage, we would most of the time chip him down either below 25% HP or enough to where we could just take him out after a dance, because then also we get rid of the debuffs on us. So we were able to cheese a lot of Legendary Male Robins that way. There was one matchup in Arena where we were able to leave all of our units in range of Legendary Male Robin because, of course, he was below 25% HP. He doesn't have anything at that point. So, absolutely fantastic for us there. Roy definitely got memed on a lot of matchups because of a bunch of lulls, especially lull attack. So his damage output, of course, hot garbage. Imagine having 53 attack, base attack in 2023. Could be my Roy. So obviously with Triangle of Depth and units like debuffing his attack by 12 during combat, you can see how even against green units he was doing 0 damage. So thanks Roy, really appreciate it. But Arena Assault this week, absolutely horrible. We had to do so many runs just to get this run. And we used all the items in that run for one match against you guessed it, Legendary Male Robin, because I underprepared for that matchup since for this particular set of seasons, we don't have that many units to tech against Legendary Male Robin, but probably straight up the worst combo we had to face off every other match or something was Legendary Male Robin with Duo Asker, and then you just slap on some branding units like Dual Leg Yarn and Duo Dagger, and they both have tier 4 oaks, and now you just have teleportation shenanigans with Pathfinder and and Duo Asker chilling out in the front when we can do absolutely no damage to him because he has 70, 80 plus defense and res on top of his damage reduction. Yeah, we're not taking him out in any way, shape, or form with him in that state, so very terrible matchups in that respect. Pretty sure we would lose even if we had our own Duo Asker, just because what the heck are we supposed to do for damage in those matchups? Especially when he has Instant Raptured Sky with defense res finish. I mean, what are you supposed to do? But overall this week, other than that, pretty comfy. Arena's pretty straightforward because, of course, we still run dancers to this day in Arena. Still totally viable. Totally scores, Capo. But next week, we'll see what happens. It is version 4 bonus, so I'm sure it's going to be much more competitive than it is this season. Allegedly, 3,880 is only like a small handful of ranks below us here, so it just seems like everyone's packed into basically the same scores, which is pretty expected given the most recent Arena shenanigans with the legendary bonus effects. But anyways, enough rambling. We'll be back when the results drop in.